Making friends and influencing people. Leaving the houses of healing behind, you spend the next hour letting Quirky know the events since his death. He is obviously exhausted from his experience, but pleased you are bothered enough to bring him back to the material plane. You collectively decide to head to the Awning Portal to celebrate. However, before leaving the City of the Dead, Jodago is uncharacteristically cruel to the poor folk queuing for a raise, even going so far as to push one who got too close unceremoniously into the dirt and then chuckling to himself about it. You put it down to stress for now. Some of you, being Waterdavians, are already familiar with the Awning Portal, but for those of you unfamiliar with the place, you learn it is a tavern situated over the ruins of an ancient wizard's tower, which now looks like the opening to a well. It is known that the opening leads to a huge underground complex built by a mad wizard called Hallister, and many adventurers try their luck in its murky depths, with hardly any returning. The Awning Portal is run by an ex-adventurer called Durnan, who by all accounts is ageless and has no right still being alive. As you enter the establishment, you learn it is almost circular in build, mirroring the ruined tower foundations it surrounds. Several balconied floors overlook the well at the centre and are teeming with all kinds of strange and wondrous types who claim to be adventurers or some other such name for a self-interested treasure hunter. Muezza and Jodago feel a lot less conspicuous than normal, as creatures of stranger origins than their own get little attention from the patrons. You head to the bar and are greeted by Durnan himself, who is quite short on words. You exchange some pleasantries, and when he learns you are exploring the Sumber Hills, he raises an eyebrow and tells you to be careful, before resting his gaze on Helfi for more time than is comfortable. The rest of the evening passes with little event before you seek lodgings. The next day you spend in Waterdeep's extensive markets, re-equipping yourselves and trying to predict the dangers you might face. You talk extensively about what to do next, and agree on seeking out the Sacred Stone Monastery, which you believe to be the home of the cult of Black Earth. However, you all agree that you should pay Red Larch a visit, and seek the spy that has been writing to Jolliver in Riverguard Keep. You make your final purchases and make a journey to Amphale, playground of the Waterdavian nobles, before stopping overnight and reaching Red Larch the next day. Landing at the central crossroads, you draw some attention from the locals, not just for the hippogriffs and vulture you have in your possession, but because news of your deeds has been travelling far and wide. Harbuck hails you and lets you know that although the town is safe for now, it is suffering from an economic downturn due to the arrest and imprisonment of many business owners who are found to be believers. This gets you thinking about investing in these businesses, and you decide to make an offer of 200 gold pieces for Melico Stoneworks and Dawn and Finestone, and a further offer of 50 gold pieces for Lurith's Tannery, and another 50 gold pieces for Bethender's Storage. Harbuck tells you that this money will act as an enforced sale of property by the business owners to pay for their release, and that they will be banished from Red Larch. The result of this exchange means that the businesses can reopen, and locals who have been thinking of leaving to find new prospects can stay, having an extremely positive effect on your reputations. What you will call these businesses is still up for debate. Whilst discussions with Harbuck continue, Jodago takes it upon himself to get involved in a game that some children are playing. But instead of holding back in his strength, he gets over-enthusiastic and deliberately knocks a child over and leers at him as if he's going to hurt him further. Only the intervention of the boy's nearby mother stops things getting nasty as Jodago comes to his senses. The mother admonishes Jodago and tells the rest of the party to control their Tabaxi pet. Jodago feels a rage building in him, but suppresses it for a moment. The rest of you worry that something is not quite right with your friend, who you now think seems to have put on a lot of weight in just a week. You head to the Swinging Sword to find Kaelessa, and when no one is watching, you show her the note found at Riverguard. She glances at it for a second before telling you she recognises it as Justral Jarl's script, who runs the cellar at the Helm at High Sun. With your spy identified, you put together a plan to interrogate him. Whilst waiting for closing time, you head for the site of Whalver's Wagon Works, which is now an archaeological site of dwarven interest, to try and sell books found at Riverguard Keep on Delzoun heraldry. Unfortunately, these books are nowhere near as valuable as the one on the line of Besselmere, but you are offered 100 gold pieces for each of them, which at 400 gold pieces more than covers your recent business purchases. When turning to leave, the head archaeologist summons up the courage to ask you if you would mind helping him in a quest to locate a family heirloom. He introduces himself as Gargosh and tells you the following. It's very kind of you to hear my tale. I'm looking for a great weapon, a legendary axe wielded by my ancestors, and I want you to help me find it. I would try and find it myself, as is proper to bring honour to my family and clan, but I simply cannot hope to succeed alone. The risks are more than I could overcome with my wits and talents. There, I said it. I'm just not good enough to try it by myself. Everyone else thinks it's a fool's errand. The king's tomb, where the axe lies, was hidden, even from his own people, but I believe we can find it together. Gargosh continues by delving into the history of Besselmere. During the conversation, he reveals that he has an extensive collection of notes and evidence pointing to the location of the tomb, but he has not brought it with him out of caution for the diary's safety. He promises you can see it next time. Gargosh agrees to meet with you to lead you to the spot whenever you are equipped and ready to go, but respects the fact that you are busy adventurers. You pocket the 400 gold pieces and file away the opportunity to find this apparently powerful item, heading back to your positions to lure Justran to a corner of the village for a discussion. As businesses close and lanterns are lit, Helfi heads into the helm at high sun to lure Justran with clever words and intrigue, suggesting that his identity has been rumbled. Justran takes the bait and follows Helfi through the dark village towards the now abandoned quarry. It is here that Justran is confronted, and he does not react well, preferring to fight his way to escape than give up. However, Jadago almost eviscerates him within seconds, and the poor wretch drops his blade to give up what he knows. After Helfi casts a necrotic shroud to put the fear of death into him, Justran spills the beans and says that he has been paid handsomely by the cult of the Crushing Wave for information within Red Larch regarding the comings and goings of merchants, and that he has been forwarding this information to Jolliver so that these merchants could be robbed. You also learn that he has been communicating with a group in Womford called the Womford Rats, who have been fencing stolen goods for water cultists. Instead of putting an end to this vile creature, you see that he has been a fool, and so give him an opportunity to redeem himself, offering him a role at the quarry to oversee your business. Any reluctance to do this is overcome by the thought that you are a bigger threat to him than anyone else might be. Armed with new information and a new manager to run your quarry, you decide to rest before heading for the elusive Sacred Stone Monastery. Thank you for listening to the progress of my Dungeons & Dragons group as they make their way through the Prince of the Apocalypse campaign setting. Watch out for further episodes where we shall learn about the party's next steps as they prepare to look for the Sacred Stone Monastery.